Mari Mari. Okay, let me put this here. Mari Mari means good morning in one of my tribal languages. I am changing my name to Maria Faith Schmidt. My two matrilineal family tribes are Mapuche and Peshwa. My birth name was baby girl Chalet. I was at the time unrecognized by any hospital or government birth registration. I was 4 pounds at birth on February 10th, 1987. I was not registered under a Form 1 registration of live birth, but however, my parents finally, and the government finally, registered me under the name Amber Leah Margaret Timmons on March 9th, 1987, using a Form 2 statement of live birth, and they had to get an informant to sign off on my name choice, as they went with a patrilineal noble European name for me. Mari Mari, to my late grandfather, Donald Lawrence Schmidt, who was born in 1934 and died in 2002. Mari Mari, to my late grandmother, Barbara Ruth Mooney, who was born in 1943 and died in 2011. Parklawn Cemetery in Cambridge, Waterloo Regional Municipality, Ontario, Canada, is where my late grandfather's burial site is. To my matrilineal ancestor, my late grandmother, you never had the chance to be a mother or a grandmother. As I experienced the same fate in my life, I looked to my ancestors for answers and guidance. My matrilineal line was broken, is broken. Generations of children ripped from good parents. Women issues are human issues. My grandmother bore 9 children. Kimberly Ann Schmidt, Charlotte Schmidt, Donald Schmidt, Edward Bray, Juanita Levine, Richard Bray, Trina Schmidt, Tabitha Elise Hasty, and Augustine Dusty Aget Levine. My matrilineal line is half-blood American Indigenous and European, comprised of Dutch, German, French, Italian, Spanish, American Indigenous, West Asian, and North African with Ashkenazi Jewish ethnicity, and also noble mixed lines with Indigenous mixed lines as well internationally. I have a third cousin in Brazil who speaks only Portuguese, and I am a cousin-in-law to the late Tejano singer Salina Quintanilla. My patrilineal line consists of noble lines such as Scottish, Irish, and English ethnicity in the European background, and even shares the same line as Queen Elizabeth II and the House of Stuart. I lay to rest my late fiancé, Richard Sukram, my late boyfriend Keith, and my late common-law husband Matthew Kent Jewell. I lay to rest my historical murdered firstborn son, and today I give him a name. Emmanuel Samuel Schmidt Mooney. I lay to rest my last-born son who died during pregnancy as an ectopic baby, Tate Nayeli Brown, 2024. Mari Mari, to my late daughters, Capriya Amira Scaffar and Elizabeth Margaret Timmons, aka Zora Ludidu. Children's Aid entered my family in 1967. My mother was 2 years old. Her 8 siblings all separated into different homes, one at a time. My mother was finally adopted at age 8 years old by a Baptist Christian household in Kitchener. Her biological family was of the Roman Catholic faith at the time. Her sister and my Aunt Charlotte Schmidt went missing during the adoption and has never been found. My matrilineal family, unfortunately, fell victim to the 60s scoop in the 60s, the 80s, and the 2000s. With my mother having a multiracial background, she was whisked away into a standardized colonial Baptist Christian home that would stranglehold her into being abused and forced into secular church. A rigid schedule and routine became her life. Her adopted parents were active in the community. Her adopted father was a well-respected principal at a local school, and her adopted mother a nurse in a local hospital setting. They were viewed as civilized and well put together, sober, Christians with rigid attitudes and a strict abusive recoil. I never understood my mother until today. I never understood my family origins like I do now. And I never understood the world, and I still don't. For the longest time, since 2018, when I did my DNA test on Ancestry and other sites, I thought Kimberly Ann Schmidt Mooney was not my mother. But that is the fall out of the 60s scoop and government. I blame the government of Canada for my turmoil and confusing relationship I have had with my mother. On February 25th, 2026, I learned that she is my biological mother, and I found out why I didn't believe her for so long. When my mother was taken from her parents and her biological mother, she was told and raised to believe she only had German heritage. She never knew about her true identity, and when I told her the truth of who her father is and what her ethnicity was, she didn't react. She didn't cry, but I did. Because my mother put so many walls up for her whole life, even my whole life. I want her to know me. I want her to give herself a chance to not hide behind blonde hair dye and fake blue eyes. She has natural, beautiful brown hair and the same eyes as me. Green, with brown in them and blue ring around the edges. I am tormented by the fact that my mother suffered so much in her life, and I took it to myself and I have suffered with her. I am a survivor of the 60s scoop, along with my mother, my children, my grandparents, my aunts and my uncles, and the rest of my family and my spouses. I was almost taken away from my mother in 1989. I was 2 years old, the same age my mother was when she was taken from her mother. Children's Aid opened a file and claimed abuse happened and that drugs were found in our home. Later, they recanted and closed the file. My mother is afraid to call us Indigenous when Children's Aid asks. I found out recently, as my 2 children were birth alerts, files were opened at birth with Children's Aid and eventually led to their apprehension. When my firstborn daughter was taken, they refused to put in the documents that she was Indigenous and continues to circle around without confirming that she is Indigenous or not. She ended up being given custody to my human trafficker in Kitchener, St. Jacobs, Ontario. And when they took my second daughter, they claimed her as non-Indigenous and adopted her out to the foster parents that she lived with since age 3 months old after they drafted a warrant for protection order, during which Children's Aid asked my mother if I was raised as a Métis Canadian, only to have my mother not comment on our Indigenous heritage, out of fear of repercussions. My mother claimed my father was Métis, but he is not. However, I have found evidence that my mother is American Indigenous from Peshwa and Mapuche tribes. Mari Mari, kum amoy mi fatchun tu dungu International Women's Day. Inc. El Chenicalo, American Indigenous, European Half-Blood, Inc. Mapuche and Peshwa tribes. Today, I will speak part Mapudungun and English. Tanu Oi Colonial is Amber Timmons. Lady Amberle Margaret Timmons. Tanu Oi American Indigenous is Nayeli Quintanilla in Kula Aya Tripantu Old. I have been able to overcome myself with safety and protection of self. Through hardships and many difficulties, I still seem to come out the other side of the Antu and the Koyan, sun and moon. I hold on to my resilience of my character and abilities. I am a widow, ×3. I lost my fiancé of 13 years, my soulmate, to suicide after our second daughter was birth alerted, abducted, and taken from us via Children's Aid and my abuser. I have been human trafficked by the same abuser long before I had my children, and yes, survived to tell about it. My trafficker brought me all across Canada to the United States. I survived child predatorial behavior from my abuser. I survived years of sexual assault, abuse. The list goes on. I lost my boyfriend to suicide as well, and then years later again, my common-law husband whom committed suicide after our daughter was birth alerted too. I live to tell a story, so here it goes. Once upon a time, a baby was born to a woman and a man. She was American Indigenous by DNA, mixed as a Spanish mestizo and European Melangen. She truly has never known love of two healthy parents. Yet, in the quiet of the dark, she was whisked away and raised by a single white, blonde, blue-eyed female that would spend a lifetime trying to kill her and destroying her life. There is speculation this baby was taken as an infant or at birth, and legal records indicate her legal documents were not filed properly with a notice of live birth Form 1 from a hospital registration, but a Form 2 from the government, and listed 3 people on the file of Statement of Live Birth Form 2, which was signed by an informant named Mrs. Muriel Clark. Fast forward, she's grown up, confused and experiencing identity crisis and loss and grief. She finally starts researching with detectives across Canada and the United States in hopes to find her true family. The search continues today, but she is stable, housing in her own place for 8 years straight. She never experienced stability like this in her life till now. She has goals, dreams, and aspirations. She looks up to the sky in awe and wonder. What will the Creator allow her to be, she asks. She owns a company and lends money to those in need, but she still cries herself to sleep. Mari, hello, good morning. It's time to wake up, says the clock on her phone. It's time to greet a new day. Today is going to be my peaceful day, she thinks to herself. Today will be my peaceful day. Today. I will not be vain like the no-faced corn-husk doll, and I will be humble and sweet, delicate like a tuta flower in the daylight. And I will not be like the 7 dancers who danced into the sky, but instead I will be human, waiting on the dead, and becoming like them. As they protect me and my children, I too uphold the spirits of my ancestors like gold on a never-ending chain of DNA. So again I say, Mari, good morning, and Kampo Lemgen to all my brothers and sisters. The wolf is guiding my spirit through life on unpredictable paths, and while the darkness looms, I see Aloka, shining a distant drum, beating my heart to be one with Mother Earth and the water, the moon, and the sun. I may have fallen far, but I always rise again. 'Cause I'm dreaming of you tonight till tomorrow. Nizaniyazi. So now that I am in love with you, what will you do? Will you be you? And will I still be me? Nizaniyazi. I dream, I sleep, I wake. I dream. I cannot take the stream of adoration on the street. I run so deep, I hit the heap of sheep while I dip on a strip heading for a ship. I want to be a good mother. I wish I had a chance, just one, to be a mother. To be a wife, a good wife. I wish I had a chance before everything disappears again. Like a shadow in the fog, would like a dog, but I don't want to starve. I want to draw, write, paint, and go far, farther than the Big Dipper and all the big stars. I want to have my own clothing line from my tribes. I wish I could not be afraid of everything, but trauma lingers like dead weight. They say she has delusions, that her memory is all fake. If that was true, she would be dead, and so would you. I am a government-trained woman with specialized FEMA active shooter training from Homeland Security, and yet Children's Aid diminished me and my credibility by saying it was nothing but a parenting class not required to be done. How will I have ever even won when lies and rumors spread like fungus, mold eating away at me? Yet I sit in quiet moments meditating on peace, love, and hope and strength, because today is going to be my peaceful day. Mari Mari, good morning, Ko. Good morning, water. Mari Mari to my daughters. Mari Mari to the Creator, to the sun, the moon, and the stars. Let the water direct you like the Big Dipper's moves a compass. Mari Mari to me and to you. Abused. The date was 1989. Slap across the face. Drugs in sight. Now she calls me Mighty Might. Coffee and liquor in my mug, but everyone gave me a shrug. Yes, I was a child, a baby, an infant. They call me Guagua, baby, until they chime and rhyme in Kahun Pinchintun. Gossip and chaos fill my drip. I leave, I run away. She kicked me out, so I didn't stay. I didn't stay. I was 5, barefoot and alive in the cold, cold snow and ice. This shall suffice. I was gone for weeks and maybe months, an orphan child on the run. But then I met him, my abuser. In the still of the dark, I kept running. He asked where I came from. I said the sun, but now I have a challenge, a new father of one. He touches my clothes. I'm calm, bitter, and dumb. He asks me. He takes me back and covers my thumb. I head to my room alone at last, but nonetheless I see him in glass. I tore my pillow, my sheets, my lullaby doll. I threw her at the wall. She broke into halves. And she stopped singing the sweet lullaby that kept on ringing. 14 years difference between him and I. I was just 5, so young. So young. Stranger, acquaintance, father, teacher. He had a lot of titles, but the one I remember most is abuser. 2021, the last time it happened, I was in my safe space in Stratford, wearing lace. He breaks in, drugs, injection, cloths on my face, and he touches me once again for the last time. I call the police. I get a report, but the Charles, once a prince, now a king, calls for a safety well-being check, like he cared at all to even check if I was okay. Hospitals, medicine, doctor at bay. Wonder what I will eat today. Vegan-style food, a beautiful road. Now I'm trying to remain steadfast and calm. As a child, the princess, we was all along, the nicest, the sweetest of all the world. The prince no less rigid and cold, but now he seems to give a care. Breathe. It's okay to be a lady, dear, to hold a title, joke or fun or real, who cares? The rain is falling on frozen ice. Shh, quiet. I cannot even hear mice. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Mari, Mari, and good morning, they say. Women's issues. A right to have a family, a right to bear children. Who we choose as our partners. what goes in our bodies, including medicines and babies. I didn't have a contractual husband or a white picket fence. I was raped, for then my children wept, for they knew our time was short, birth alerted as they came out. I didn't choose my children. I didn't want them to begin. I wanted a life free of hate and separation. But my fate was a date of aggregation. Pro-choice by Christian faith is the reason they exist. The pressures linger of faith is only right. To suffer is to live is to suffer. Without suffering, the light goes dark. But in endless despair, I cry out, help! For once, I was a child who wept and wept and wept for my struggle to end in step. Now they are here, their first cries, their first tears, the first breath they took. I cannot even bear the sheer beauty of life becoming near, yet I'm so unprepared. I'm a victim, not a wife, dear. No job, no house, no money, just me and my breath here. How can I raise children alone in a world full of cold, cold stone? My body, my choice. To have children or to say no. Yet when I say no, I got beat, yelled at, and scolded and grounded like a child tampering with candy at Christmas night. Yet, so I have to say yes to sex, drugs, and medication from men because I don't have capacity to appreciate these things? Or the capacity to specifically say no, don't touch me? I don't want that in my body. Yet clearly I speak fluent English. I'm standing, walking, and I have a living brain. But capacity, what's that? A right to say no or ability to say no or both? I have the capacity to say I don't want and the word no. Oh look, I just said it in public. Can you still remind me why I have no capacity? Is kidnapping a delusion? Is it all in my head? Being raped as a 5-year-old till I am 34 years old. Was it all fake? 'Cause if it was, I'd rather be dead than know my mind plays tricks and makes me feel like lead. I know he touched me. It was real. I felt it. I saw his hands glide over my body. I saw the gun he poked my chest with the firing end while loaded and asked me where I wanted it. Bang! Brah brah! He shot the room. Am I scared or am I dreaming? Is my whole life a nightmare or am I in a coma or am I dead or am I even here? I have a right to privacy, yet anyone is allowed to film me anywhere without my permission. What if I had no underwear? What if I am under age of consent? What if I am age of consent? Do I have privacy or am I free? Am I a freebie for sex offenders based on my age, not based on my consent or lack of? Are doctors supposed to have sex with their patients while giving them medication? Or is that also grandiose delusion? Because I am only a sick brain without feelings, memories to recall, or fame. Am I sick to think I'm Haley Houston, pop star international? Or does this mean my ticket to the Junos is also fake? What about the Diddy party where I saw Whitney Houston get raped? She was murdered and drugged at night. It was late. Or British Columbia where multiple men touched me in the dark while a picnic table burned and police larked. They narked on my abuser. I anonymous. I called for help. Charge got laid and went back to sleep in the night while the moon shined bright, brighter than the sun. Reproductive rights, sexual assaults, intimate partner violence are the double standard for all the generations of women. We even had to fight for our rights to vote, to work, to talk without being spoken to have opinions and thoughts of our own. History has not changed its tone. We live in 2026, but our home is far away from the generation because it goes farther back to Africa and Middle East, at least my genes do. I am blood type O. I have a right to say no to donate blood, to say no to donate organs, yet I say yes to everything because I lack capacity to understand things. Definitions and the knowledge because I am a woman. I am judged, treated different. I am not allowed to be indigenous or African because I have white skin. Yet why does it say I am North African on my DNA site? Children's Aid Society of Waterloo. They were there since 1967 and now Stratford is too. And today they are still there. When I was abused, they didn't care, but yet as soon as my daughters were born, they couldn't wait a second to take mine. Amira, my beauty Amira, Lulu, my lovely Lulu, my 2 biological babies I made without rabies. Did I abuse them? No. Did I neglect them? No. Did I commit heinous crimes? No. Do I have a criminal past? No. Present? No. Future? No. Is mental health a factor, or would it be a factor in preventing me from parenting well? No. But am I in the system? Yes. Do I have support? Yes. Am I on medicine? Yes. Am I compliant? Yes. Does it sound like I have rights? No. Children's Aid does not stop abuse from happening. They caused chaos in my life. They bullied my family more than twice. Again, I say, my fiancé of 13 years committed suicide in 2019 after Amira was apprehended by warrant after she was already abducted by my abuser. She wasn't even in my care. He used CAS to get full custody, claiming her as his own, as he did to me when I was 5 till I was 34. I have a right to safety and security, so why then, when my Sifu, also known as my abuser, does anything criminal to me and my children, why then does it get overlooked, pushed aside like a deluded in my head? I wasn't trafficked in Stratford, but I was trafficked to Stratford in 2011 and other cities throughout Ontario by death threat that my abuser would cut my head off if I did not comply. The art studio is a fraud. It's a dangerous battleground that I was raised in behind the wall. It's now his garbage tank, unused weapons, and cars surrounded by a large fence that says keep out private property. His trap house where he killed my best friend Brian from BC and where he kept me neatly tucked away in a dark basement that had nails in the stairs, booze wrapped in dust, spiders and spiders' webs carried the musk between the weapons and the drugs laying at dusk. The police and my family kept telling me he was my boyfriend and I consented to be with him. And that all the nasty things he did to me, I wanted them to happen and asked for it and deserved it. So, well, actually, it was just my mom and my sister, my younger one, that said that that these things were true and that I deserved to be abused. But my older sister, Alicia, rest in peace, she was the opposite. She stood up for me, when not even the police could. She stole a machete. She went to his house on Devil May 13, harmed me. She screamed at the top of her lungs for him to come out and face her for once and for all. She spent years telling him to leave me alone. Then again with a damn picnic table, she lay on the ground with bound marks on her wrists and bruised like a peach fallen to the ground, dead, without a core, rotting like a woman once again no more. I had a right to not be raped, but she had a right to not be murdered. There is so much that could have been prevented in my life if the laws were on our side of those of us that are victims of violence, murder, and suffrage. I was raised in a single white woman raised as a Métis Canadian girl, only to find I am 100% European. Mind you, some of that European is Spanish, Catalan, and Basque, which has deep roots in South America, North and South Andean, Mapuche, and Peshwa tribes. I am part French in my European makeup. I don't know if that makes me Métis or if it makes me human. All I know is I am a woman. I have a name, a birth date, and I know my eyes are green. My hair is dark brown. My skin is white, tanned when I go out and walk everywhere, and when I put the tan lotion on, that thing. I was 15, I wanted to drive. I wasn't allowed to get my license. I was 17, I wasn't allowed to enlist in the military. I recently heard the term gang stalking. It means that when more than one person gangs up on someone and gaslights them on their mental health or harasses them and invites the others to join the harassment. I'm a woman. I'm a gang stalking survivor. I'm a 60s scoop survivor. I wish my older sister was here to see me speak about a woman who is alive and thriving because I was in danger. Because I was in danger, she is no longer living. She was an abuse survivor. She was clean off drugs when they pronounced her dead of a drug overdose. I know because I counseled her every day for a year till she went missing after someone formed her in the mental health hospital and forced her on medicine without her consent. Missing and murdered Indigenous girls and women and children deserve a voice. Today, I am not here to only share my story, but it's about women internationally. We have the ability to prevent the suffrage of women, yet it is still present and happens in front of us and in our backyards. So just choose peace, man. Choose kindness and choose love. Mari Mari, because good morning never killed anyone. Mari Mari, good morning. Welcome to International Women's Day. Ink al Charmicalo, American Indigenous, Ink Mapuche, and Peshwa tribes. Today I will speak part Mapudungun and English. My colonial name is Amber Leah. Amber Timmons, Lady Amber Leah Margaret Timmons. My American Indigenous name is Nayeli Quintanilla. I'm a 39-year-old woman. I have been able to overcome myself with safety and protection of self. Through hardships and many difficulties, I still seem to come out the other side of Antu and Koyen, sun and moon. I hold on to my resilience of my character and abilities, but nonetheless again, today is going to be my peaceful day. And Mari Mari, good morning sun and moon. Good morning, moon. My mother stayed. My father left. My mom is a traitor. My father said he'd come back, but never did. My mom made sure I felt all her scars. She lied about me, but never left. She hated on me, but never left. He loved me with every ounce of his heart from a distance. He taught life lessons that made me better. She scarred me and caused me trauma, yet I wanted to honor our biological family. He remarried and had stability for over 20 years. She bounced from guy to guy, showing me love was in sexual situations and temporary. He was sober and is now retired from working in corrections for over 20 years. He taught me to be respectful and to work in environments that help others. She quit every job and was bouncing from job to job. She taught me work is irrelevant, that being responsible is not important. She took sick days every week, showing me my mental health excuses are more valuable than my work ethic. She always had a favorite. Dad always loved us equally. He is hard to reach because he values peace. She thinks keeping our enemies closer than friends is good. These are the things my parents taught me. This is what 60 Scoop did to my family. Mother, not just a word, not just a title, a soul forever intertwined with mine. From your body I was nurtured, and our bond grew stronger with each passing day. My eyes, my hair, my skin, and my height, all a testament to our unbreakable connection, our DNA forever. Our journey, though complicated, has made us resilient. From the first time Children's Aid entered our lives to the present day, we have faced challenges head on, and our love has only grown stronger. Generations of separations could not break our spirits. Nothing can stop us now, because now we know the truth about our history, about our government, and about our family. We realize that our past does not define us, nor do other people's opinions. We define ourselves, and our love for each other has been the guiding force. Through all our trials, we continue to fight for each other, and our bond has made us proud to be the Schmidt family, American Indigenous made. We are Roman Catholics built on traditions and faith. From our indigenous ancestors, we are built to be tougher, to face life's challenges with courage and determinations. I just want to say, I love you, Mother. Mari Mari, good morning, and have a good day, everyone.